Commander Thane sat at his metal desk inside the giant spaceship that traveled between stars. His job was simple: look at files about different planets and decide if they were safe for other aliens to visit. Most days were boring. Planet after planet filled with normal animals that followed normal rules. But today was different. The computer screen in front of him glowed with information about a small blue planet called Earth. At the top of the file, bright red letters spelled out words that made no sense. Extreme caution, apex predator saturation level, critical. Thane rubbed his 4 eyes and read it again. Every planet had apex predators, the strongest animals that hunted everything else. Usually there was 1 per area, maybe 2 if the planet was really dangerous. But Earth's file showed something impossible. The computer listed dozens of apex predators in each area. Ocean predators called great white sharks that were 20 feet long with rows of sharp teeth. Land predators called polar bears that weighed as much as small vehicles. Flying predators called eagles that could see tiny movements from miles away. And that was just the beginning. Thane scrolled through page after page. Tigers with claws like knives. Crocodiles with jaws that could crush metal. Wolves that hunted in groups. Bears that could run faster than most alien vehicles. Snakes with poison that could kill in minutes. Lions with teeth designed for tearing flesh. This cannot be right, Thane muttered in his alien language. His translator device turned his words into standard galactic speech. According to everything he knew about planets and animals, Earth should be dead. No ecosystem could support this many apex predators. They would fight each other until nothing remained. The stronger ones would eat the weaker ones. The planet would become empty except for maybe 1 or 2 surviving species. But the file showed something even stranger. All these apex predators lived on the same planet at the same time. The ocean predators stayed in water. The land predators roamed forests, deserts, and grasslands. The flying predators soared through skies. None of them had killed off all the others. Thane opened another section of the file. This part talked about the dominant species, the smartest animals that controlled the planet. Every world had one. Usually they were the strongest apex predators who had beaten all the others. The file said Earth's dominant species was called humans. Thane looked at the pictures. Humans looked weak. They had no claws, no sharp teeth, no thick fur or scales for protection. They were smaller than most of the other apex predators on their planet. Their bodies seemed soft and fragile. How do these creatures survive? Thane asked his empty office. He read more. Humans lived in groups in places called cities. They built structures from stone and metal. They created tools and vehicles. They grew food instead of just hunting for it. This sounded normal. Most intelligent species did similar things. But then Thane found the part that confused him most. The file said humans lived alongside all those apex predators. Not just near them but actually with them. Some humans kept smaller predators in their homes as companions. Others traveled into dangerous areas where the biggest predators lived, apparently for fun. The computer showed images that made no sense. A small human child playing in a yard while a creature called a coyote watched from nearby bushes. A group of humans walking through a forest where the file said bears and mountain lions lived. Humans swimming in oceans where great white sharks hunted. Thane stood up and walked around his office. His people, the Zalari, came from a planet with 1 apex predator, a large bird that nested in mountains. The Zalari built their cities far from those mountains and developed flying vehicles specifically to avoid the birds. This was normal. This made sense. But humans seemed to do the opposite. Instead of avoiding their apex predators, they went looking for them. He sat back down and opened his communication device. Dr. Vale, the ship's expert on alien animals, appeared on the screen. Vale had studied creatures from hundreds of planets. Doctor, I need you to review Earth's classification file. Something seems wrong with the data. Vale's image nodded. I will examine it immediately, Commander. While he waited, Thane read more about human behavior. The file mentioned something called wildlife tourism, where humans paid money to travel to places specifically to see dangerous predators. It described nature documentaries, where humans filmed apex predators from close distances. It even mentioned extreme sports, where humans put themselves in dangerous situations for entertainment. Dr. Vale called back within an hour. His face on the screen looked puzzled and worried. Commander, I have reviewed the Earth files 3 times. Either our scanning equipment has completely failed, or this planet represents something we have never encountered before. What do you mean? The predator density readings are accurate. Earth truly hosts dozens of apex predator species across multiple environments. But that should be impossible. The energy requirements alone should collapse the entire ecosystem. Thane felt a strange sensation in his stomach, something his species experienced when facing the unknown. What about the humans? How do they fit into this predator hierarchy? Vale was quiet for a long moment. Commander, the data suggests that humans are not just another apex predator. They appear to be apex predators who compete with other apex predators for territory and resources. And they seem to do it successfully. Thane made a decision that would change everything. Prepare the diplomatic vessel. We are making first contact with Earth. Sir, are you certain? The safety protocols for a planet with this predator classification require extensive preparation. Dr. Vale, we have made contact with over 200 species. I refuse to believe that any planet could be as dangerous as this file suggests. We will go to Earth, meet these humans, and discover what equipment errors created this impossible classification. As Thane signed the authorization forms, he felt confident about humanity's integration into galactic society. After all, how dangerous could any species really be? The alien spaceship landed in a place called Yellowstone National Park with a soft humming sound. Commander Thane and his team had chosen this location because their computers said it was a protected area where Earth's dominant species kept their dangerous animals safe. They thought this meant the humans had built walls and cages to control the apex predators. Dr. Vale checked his scanner as the ship's door opened. I am detecting multiple large predator signatures within 500 meters of our position, he reported nervously. Impossible, said Thane. Protected areas mean the dangerous animals are contained safely away from the intelligent species. Beck, Vale's young assistant, pointed his scanner toward a group of trees. Sir, I am reading a creature that weighs over 400 pounds moving through those bushes. The computer identifies it as something called a grizzly bear. Through the ship's window, they watched a human female walking along a path. She wore simple clothes and carried a small bag. She was alone, with no weapons visible, no armor, no protective vehicle. Then they saw the bear. It emerged from the trees just 20 meters from the human. The creature stood almost 3 meters tall on its back legs. Its claws were longer than Thane's fingers. Its teeth could crush bone. According to their database, one swipe from its massive paw could kill most galactic species instantly. Alert the human, Beck shouted. She does not see the predator approaching. But the human had seen the bear. She simply moved to one side of the path and continued walking. The bear looked at her, made a huffing sound, and wandered toward a small stream. Neither the human nor the bear seemed concerned about the other. This makes no sense, Vale whispered. The human noticed their spaceship and walked toward it. Thane activated the ship's external communication system, expecting the human to show fear or excitement about meeting aliens for the first time. Instead, the human stopped near their ship and called out in a friendly voice, "Hey there! You folks have a permit for landing in the park." Thane's translator worked quickly to change her words into galactic standard language. A permit? This human was concerned about paperwork while standing meters away from a creature that could tear her apart? "We are visitors from space," Thane announced through the ship's speakers. "We come in peace to meet your species." The human nodded as if aliens landed in her park every day. "Welcome to Yellowstone. I'm Emma, one of the park rangers here. You picked an interesting time to visit." She pointed toward the area where the bear had gone. "It's late summer, so the bears are getting ready for winter. They're eating everything they can find, which makes them a bit unpredictable. Also, it's mating season for the elk, so they're pretty aggressive right now." Vale's scanner started beeping rapidly. "Commander, I am detecting at least 6 more large predators within our immediate area. There is a pack of creatures called wolves approaching from the north. Something called a mountain lion is positioned in rocks above us. And multiple bison are grazing just beyond those trees." Thane stared at his scanner readings. Bison were plant eaters, but according to the database, they weighed nearly a ton and could charge at high speeds with sharp horns. Even herbivores on this planet were dangerous. Emma noticed their equipment. "Oh, are you scientists? That's great. We love researchers here. Just remember to keep your distance from the wildlife. I know they look calm, but they're wild animals." "Keep our distance?" Thane asked through the communicator. "Are they not contained in secure facilities?" Emma laughed. "Contained? This is their home. We're just visitors here. That's why it's called a national park. We protect the land so the animals can live naturally." Beck's voice cracked with fear. "She means the predators roam freely? With no barriers?" "Of course," Emma replied. "Though you should be careful walking around. Like I said, the elk are in mating season. Bull elk can be really territorial. And there's been a grizzly with cubs in the area. Mother bears with babies are probably the most dangerous thing you'll encounter here. Dr. Vale felt his heart's beating faster. On his home planet, a single large predator required military-level containment. Earth had dozens of them wandering around while humans walked among them casually. What weapons do you carry for protection? Thane asked. Emma patted a small cylinder on her belt. Just bear spray. It's basically pepper spray in a strong formula. Most of the time you don't need anything though. The animals usually avoid people unless you do something stupid. Pepper spray? Vale translated the term and nearly fell over. She defends herself against 400-pound predators with plant extract? Emma continued talking as if discussing the weather. The trick is knowing how to behave around them. Don't get between a mother and her babies. Don't approach animals that are eating. Make noise when you hike so you don't surprise anything. Basic common sense. Through the ship's cameras, they watched a family of humans setting up camp about 100 meters away. Small human children ran around playing while their parents arranged sleeping equipment. The scanner showed wolf tracks in the dirt around their camping area. Those humans, Thane said slowly, are they aware of the predator presence? The Johnson family? Oh sure. Tom camps here every year with his kids. They know what they're doing. Vale watched the scanner as the mountain lion moved closer to observe the alien's ship. Commander, we should retreat to a safe distance for further study. But Emma was still talking. If you're planning to stay overnight, make sure you store all your food properly. Bears have incredible noses, they can smell food from miles away. We require all campers to use bear-proof containers or hang their supplies at least 12 feet high. The implications hit Thane like a physical blow. Humans not only lived with apex predators, they had developed detailed protocols for coexisting with them. They treated creatures that could kill them as minor inconveniences requiring basic precautions. Emma, Thane asked carefully, how many humans are killed by these predators each year? In Yellowstone? Very few. Maybe 1 or 2 incidents annually, and usually because someone ignored safety rules. The animals don't want to fight us any more than we want to fight them. As Emma walked away, whistling cheerfully, Thane realized that everything his species understood about predator-prey relationships was wrong. Dr. Vale set up his research equipment near a small building that Emma called the Visitor Center. He needed to understand how humans survived on a planet where everything seemed designed to kill them. His first interview was with Dr. James Mitchell, a human who studied the local wildlife. James arrived carrying a large furry creature on a leash. Vale's scanner immediately identified it as a predator, sharp teeth, strong jaw muscles, descended from wolves according to the database. But James petted it gently and called it Buddy. This is my dog, James explained, noticing Vale's nervous staring. He's part German Shepherd, part Husky. Great hiking companion. Vale's translator struggled with the concept. You keep a predator as a companion? Dogs aren't really predators anymore. We domesticated wolves about 15,000 years ago. Now they're humanity's best friends. There are over 70 million dogs in America alone, living in homes with families. The numbers made Vale dizzy. 70 million predators living inside human dwellings, sleeping next to human children, eating from bowls provided by their supposed prey. James sat down and Buddy lay at his feet, tongue hanging out in what looked like a friendly expression. Dogs are just the beginning though. We've got cats, domesticated from small wild cats. Some people keep snakes, lizards, even small alligators as pets. You voluntarily live with creatures that could harm you? Well sure. But we've been doing it for thousands of years. The relationship benefits both species. We provide food and shelter, they provide companionship and protection. Vale took notes frantically. What about the larger predators? The bears and wolves and mountain lions. James's face lit up with excitement. Oh, those are amazing. I've been studying grizzly behavior for 12 years. Last month I got within 10 feet of a mother bear with 2 cubs to collect samples from their feeding site. 10 feet. Vale's voice rose an octave. From a mother protecting her young? You have to be careful, obviously. But bears aren't mindless killing machines. They're intelligent animals with predictable behaviors. If you understand their body language and respect their space, most encounters are peaceful. Vale pulled up footage on his tablet showing humans engaged in various activities with dangerous animals. Please explain these images. James leaned forward to look. Oh, that's shark cage diving. Humans go underwater in metal cages to observe great white sharks. And that one shows people swimming with dolphins, though dolphins are actually pretty dangerous. They're incredibly strong and can be aggressive. Swimming with apex predators is recreational? Some of the best experiences of my life involve being close to powerful animals. I've been scuba diving with bull sharks, hiking in grizzly territory, and camping where I could hear wolf packs howling at night. Vale felt his understanding of rational behavior crumbling. But why would you seek out dangerous situations? Because they're not really that dangerous if you know what you're doing. More people die from bee stings than shark attacks. More people are injured by cows than bears. The media makes predators seem scarier than they actually are. James showed Vale pictures on his phone. Humans standing near massive elephants in Africa. Humans in boats watching whales that could easily crush their vessels. Humans walking through forests where the trees had scratch marks from bear claws. This is wildlife photography, James explained. People travel around the world to photograph dangerous animals in their natural habitats. My friend Sarah spent 6 months in Alaska photographing polar bears. My brother Tom leads tours in Africa where people can see lions and leopards up close. Vale studied a picture of a small human child sitting near a large black bear. Is this child in danger? That's my nephew at a wildlife sanctuary. The bear is rescued so it's used to humans. But even in the wild, bears usually avoid people. Most dangerous animals prefer to stay away from humans. The conversation was interrupted when Beck ran into the building, his scanner beeping frantically. Dr. Vale, there is a large predator approaching the building. Through the window they could see a massive brown bear walking across the parking area. It moved slowly, stopping to sniff at some trash containers. James glanced outside casually. Oh, that's probably Martha. She comes by most afternoons looking for food scraps. The park service will relocate her if she becomes a problem. Vale watched in amazement as several humans emerged from the building to take photographs of the bear. They maintained distance but showed no fear. One elderly human woman complained that the bear was blocking her view of the mountains. Your species treats apex predators like minor inconveniences, Vale observed. Well, they kind of are. I mean, you use common sense. Don't leave food where bears can get it. Don't approach animals with babies. Don't run from mountain lions, it triggers their chase instinct. Basic safety rules. Vale pulled up more files on his computer. According to our data, humans engage in something called extreme sports. Please explain. James grinned. Rock climbing, whitewater rafting, mountaineering, base jumping. People love challenging themselves against natural dangers. But these activities could result in death. So could driving a car or crossing the street. Life has risks. The key is managing them intelligently. Vale showed him footage of humans climbing vertical rock faces without safety ropes. This appears to be unnecessary risk-taking. Free climbing? Yeah, that's pretty intense. But the people who do it spend years training. They know every hold, every possible route. It looks dangerous to outsiders, but experts minimize the actual risk through preparation and skill. As the interview concluded, Vale realized the horrible truth. Humans didn't just survive alongside apex predators, they actively sought them out. They turned danger into entertainment, transformed fear into excitement, and treated potentially lethal encounters as opportunities for personal growth. The bear outside finished investigating the trash containers and wandered away. The humans went back to their normal activities as if nothing had happened. Vale made an urgent call to Commander Thane. Sir, we need to contact the home fleet immediately. Humans are not what we expected. Commander Thane sat in his command chair aboard the ship, staring at the emergency communication device that connected him directly to the Galactic Council. The holographic images of 12 alien leaders from different worlds flickered in front of him. Their faces showed confusion and disbelief as Dr. Vale finished presenting his research findings. Council member Dex, a tall blue alien with 4 arms, spoke first. Dr. Vale, please repeat your conclusions about human behavior. Vale cleared his throat nervously. Honored Council, humans have evolved not merely alongside apex predators, but as apex predators who actively compete with other apex predators for territory and resources. They hunt creatures that could easily kill them, using primitive weapons and persistence hunting techniques. Impossible, declared Council Member Ray, whose species came from a peaceful planet with only small herbivores. No intelligent species would willingly engage with dangerous predators. Thane activated his screen to show the footage they had collected. Council members, please observe these human activities. The first video showed humans in metal cages underwater, surrounded by great white sharks. The humans appeared calm, even excited, as 20-foot predators with rows of razor-sharp teeth circled around them. They call this shark cage diving, Vale explained. Humans pay money to experience close encounters with oceanic apex predators. Council member Vex gasped. They pay currency to place themselves in mortal danger? Yes, honored member. And this is considered a mild recreational activity compared to others. The next video showed a human climbing a vertical rock face without any safety equipment. The camera angle revealed a drop of several hundred meters below the climber. Free climbing, Vale narrated. Humans scale dangerous heights using only their hands and feet. They do this for entertainment and personal satisfaction. But one mistake means certain death, observed Council member Zara. Correct. Yet thousands of humans participate in this activity annually. Thane played more footage. Humans swimming in oceans where sharks lived. Humans walking through African grasslands where lions hunted. Humans camping in forests where bears roamed freely. In every video the humans appeared relaxed and happy. Dr. Vale pulled up statistical data on his tablet. Most civilized species develop technology specifically to avoid their planet's apex predators. Humans develop technology to locate dangerous animals more efficiently. They have entire industries dedicated to what they call wildlife tourism. The council members exchanged worried glances. Their own species had spent thousands of years learning to avoid dangerous creatures. The idea of seeking them out for pleasure was incomprehensible. Show them the persistence hunting data, Thane ordered. Vale activated another screen. Humans evolved as endurance hunters. They do not have the speed of cheetahs or the strength of bears, but they can run continuously for hours. They chase prey animals until the animals collapse from exhaustion. The footage showed a group of humans jogging across a desert, following animal tracks. They moved slowly but never stopped, hour after hour under the burning sun. The prey animals are faster and stronger, but humans never give up. They track wounded animals for days across difficult terrain. This hunting method requires extraordinary mental toughness and physical endurance. Council member Dex's forearms trembled slightly. They hunt through pure determination? Yes, honored member. And they consider this normal behavior. Thane stood up and walked around the holographic display. Council members, we discovered something even more disturbing. Humans actively seek dangerous situations for psychological stimulation. They have a concept called adrenaline addiction, where they require increasingly dangerous activities to feel satisfied. Vale showed pictures of humans jumping from aircraft, racing vehicles at high speeds, and surfing massive ocean waves. They describe the sensation of fear as exciting and fun. Dangerous situations trigger the release of chemicals in their brains that create pleasurable feelings. This explains their recreational behavior, observed Council member Ray. They are biochemically rewarded for taking risks. Exactly. But the most concerning discovery involves their social behavior around apex predators. The screen showed footage of a human family camping. Small children played near their tent while scanning equipment detected multiple large predators in the surrounding forest. Human parents regularly expose their offspring to potentially lethal situations. They call this building character and teaching respect for nature. Council member Vex stood up abruptly. They deliberately endanger their young? From their perspective, they are providing education about natural environments. Human children learn to identify predator signs, understand animal behavior, and respond appropriately to dangerous encounters. Vale played audio recordings of human parents teaching their children. If you see a bear, don't run. Make yourself look big and back away slowly. If a mountain lion approaches, maintain eye contact and make noise. Never turn your back on a large predator. The council members listened in stunned silence as human adults calmly discussed life and death scenarios with their children. They treat apex predator encounters as routine educational opportunities, Vale concluded. Commander Thane pulled up the final piece of evidence. Council members, observe human response to our presence. The screen showed Emma, the park ranger, chatting casually with Beck near their spaceship. She was explaining local wildlife safety procedures as if discussing weather patterns. Emma has shown no fear of our advanced technology, no concern about our weapons, and no anxiety about meeting an alien species for the first time. She treats us like tourists who need basic safety information. Council member Dex leaned forward. What is her primary concern? That we might accidentally provoke a bear attack through improper food storage. The 12 council members sat in silence for several minutes, processing the implications of what they had learned. Finally, Council member Ray spoke. These humans are unlike any species we have encountered. They possess technology, intelligence, and social organization, but they retain the behavioral patterns of apex predators. Worse, added Council Member Vex. They are apex predators who actively seek conflict with other apex predators for entertainment. Thane felt the weight of his decision. Honored Council, how should we classify humanity for future contact protocols? The council members looked at each other with expressions of uncertainty and fear. We need a completely new classification system, Council Member Dex declared. Nothing in our experience has prepared us for a species like this. 6 months after first contact, the Galactic Council headquarters buzzed with nervous activity. Representatives from hundreds of worlds had gathered for an emergency session that would change how the galaxy approached dangerous planets forever. Commander Thane stood at the center of the great circular chamber, holding a thick file marked with bright red warning symbols. Around him, alien delegates whispered in dozens of languages, all discussing the same topic, Earth and its impossible inhabitants. Honored delegates, Thane began, his voice amplified throughout the chamber. After extensive study, the Science Council has reached unanimous agreement on humanity's classification. The chamber fell silent. Even the translator devices seemed to pause. Earth will be designated as the planet where apex predators have apex predators. Humans will be classified as cooperative apex predators with recreational danger-seeking behavior. A wave of concerned chatter swept through the audience. Delegate Mora from the peaceful Epsilon system raised her tentacle. Commander, what does this mean for standard contact procedures? Thane activated a holographic display showing the new protocols. Any approach to Earth now requires 3 times our normal security detail. All contact teams must undergo specialized psychological preparation for meeting a species that considers mortal danger a form of entertainment. The display showed detailed safety procedures that looked more like military invasion plans than diplomatic guidelines. Ships approaching Earth needed heavy shields, multiple escape routes, and emergency medical facilities capable of treating predator attacks. Additionally, Thane continued, we have established the Galactic Council's first Department of Extreme Species Psychology. Their sole purpose is developing training modules for understanding species that hunt for recreational purposes. Dr. Vale stepped forward to present his latest findings. Delegates, human integration into galactic society has proceeded more rapidly than any previous species. However, their motivations concern us greatly. The screen showed dozens of applications submitted by humans requesting interplanetary travel. Every single application asked the same questions. What dangerous creatures exist on other worlds? Are there any planets with interesting predators? Can we visit worlds that other species consider too dangerous? Humans seem disappointed, Vale explained, to learn that most worlds we classify as extremely dangerous are actually safer than typical human recreational environments. Delegate Kex from the warrior planet Zephyria laughed grimly. Even we avoid our most dangerous regions. These humans actively seek them out. Worse, Vale replied. They have already submitted formal requests to visit 17 worlds that we have quarantined due to hostile wildlife. They specifically asked about planets with what they call megafauna, extremely large predators. The chamber erupted in alarmed voices. Delegate Yaira stood up, her scales changing color with stress. Those worlds are forbidden to all civilized species. We lost entire research teams to the creatures there. Humans have volunteered to serve as advanced scouts, Vale said quietly. They offered to establish research stations on worlds too dangerous for other species to visit. Commander Thane pulled up footage from Earth showing the latest developments in human-alien relations. The video displayed Emma, now wearing an official uniform with Interplanetary Park Ranger, written across the front. We created a new position for human Emma, Thane explained. She now serves as Earth's first liaison officer for alien visitors. Her job is preparing other species for safe visits to Earth. The footage showed Emma standing in front of a group of terrified alien tourists in Yellowstone. The aliens wore full protective suits and carried emergency beacons. Emma wore her normal park ranger uniform and carried only her small can of bear spray. This is a typical Earth hiking trail, Emma was saying cheerfully to the alien visitors. We might encounter elk, bison, bears, wolves, or mountain lions. Remember to stay calm, don't make sudden movements, and follow my instructions exactly. Behind her, a massive grizzly bear emerged from the trees. The alien tourists immediately activated panic protocols, calling for emergency transport. Emma turned around, saw the bear, and waved at it like greeting an old friend. Oh, hi there, Bruno. You're looking healthy this season. The bear looked at the group, huffed once, and continued walking toward a nearby stream. Emma made notes on her tablet while the alien tourists stood frozen in terror. As you can see, Emma continued, most wildlife encounters are peaceful if you know how to behave properly. This is actually one of our easier trails. If you want to see more active predator behavior, we can visit the wolf viewing areas later. The footage ended with 3 alien tourists requesting immediate evacuation while Emma cheerfully discussed lunch plans. Delegate Quinn raised a claw. Commander, how are humans responding to restrictions on dangerous world access? Thane sighed deeply. They have created something called interstellar extreme tourism. Multiple human companies are now offering adventure packages to visit the most hazardous planets we will allow them to access. And these companies are profitable? According to our economic analysts, extremely profitable. Humans are paying enormous amounts of money for opportunities to encounter alien predators. They are particularly excited about worlds with creatures they have never seen before. Dr. Vale pulled up the latest application statistics. We have received over 50,000 human requests for travel to dangerous worlds. The applications increase daily. They have specifically asked about planets with hostile environments, poisonous atmospheres, and aggressive wildlife. The chamber filled with nervous whispers as delegates realized the implications. Furthermore, Vale continued, humans have begun volunteering for dangerous assignments that other species refuse. They want to serve as advanced scouts, wildlife researchers, and emergency responders on hostile worlds. Commander Thane concluded his presentation with Earth's latest diplomatic message. Humanity has officially offered to serve as the galaxy's specialists for dangerous world exploration. They volunteer to investigate planets too hazardous for normal contact protocols. He paused as the weight of his next words sank in. Council members, for the first time in galactic history, we have encountered a species that actively seeks out the very dangers that drive our technological and social development. Earth's classification as the most dangerous inhabited world has only increased human enthusiasm for joining galactic civilization. The chamber fell silent as hundreds of alien delegates contemplated their new reality, sharing the galaxy with a species that considered their worst nightmares to be recreational opportunities.